Greetings YouTube, Kevlar Chicken here, coming in with another review. So this time I will be reviewing a machete from a company that I already reviewed a knife from. However, this company is a lot more famous for their machetes. I believe, you can correct me if I'm wrong, it's pronounced Tramontina, and it's a Brazilian company. And today I will be reviewing one of their machetes. I was too lazy to fully mirror polish it by hand, so that's why one part is shiny and the other is not. Don't pay attention to that right now. The original finish is pretty rough, it's not this shiny. Even you can see in the middle where it's still relatively how it comes out of the box, but this is a machete, this is made to do rough work. You can see more towards the beginning. This is how it originally is fully, and you can see the name. Now, I will let you have a nice look at it from a full perspective. You can see that it's pretty, it's a machete, it's a relatively large, not large, but a normal sized machete, excuse me, and can take a look at it. Now I will quickly go over the main characteristics, however you can always check them in the description down below. Now since I got this as a gift, I don't feel like it's right to ask for them or the price because it's considered rude, because some people might think it's, oh, you didn't give me something that's expensive enough. I don't personally see things like that, but it can be considered rude. So this is a gift, but I did measure it and weigh it myself on my cooking weight scale, which is not the most accurate thing, but it is a machete, so it's a heftier thing, and I believe it's gonna be accurate enough. I did sharpen this and try to polish it a bit, even though you can clearly see I didn't finish the job because I was lazy, honestly. Now I'll put it aside so I don't cut myself, and I will quickly go over the characteristics. I can be a little bit off, but you just saw the visual representation, and I'll be off by about like less than half an inch at most, so this is still relatively close to what you're going to be getting. And the characteristics on the sides are usually a bit off anyways, if you actually check them yourself thoroughly, so keep that in mind. Okay, now with that out of the way, the overall length is 22.6 inches from the beginning of the handle towards the absolute end of the tip. That's how I measured it. So 22.6 inches overall length, so full length of the whole thing, and or 57.5 centimeters for in European measurements and imperial units. Now the edge length, the actual cutting, chopping part, is 44.5 centimeters or 17.5 inches. So out of those 22.6 inches, 17.5 are the cutting / chopping edge. So this thing is like 90% edge. Just, yeah, a real beast of a chopper. Now the weight is 1.13 pounds or 517 grams. Like I said, my weight scale might not be the most accurate, but I checked on their sites. Their other machetes, not exactly this one, I didn't find exactly this one, are about the 500 gram mark or about the 1.1 pound mark. And honestly, I think that's a good weight for a machete by how it feels, and I did chop some sticks with it just to see how it does. It did pretty well. Now the steel type, I am unsure of what exactly it is, but I'm pretty sure it's high carbon because it does rust and it does hold an edge well. Now usually rusting, some people might see it as a channel, but all that means is it's actually the type of steel that holds an edge better. And if you want it to not rust, you can always just wipe it off after use, and usually that's enough to prevent it. Honestly, just don't let it get moist. As I said, the company name is Tramontina, and that is from Brazil. Now the price, like I said, it's a gift, so the price is the most inappropriate thing to ask about. But they do have a tendency to make their machetes relatively cheap, anywhere from $12 to $25, and I believe this is from their medium range, and it's about $18. I'm pretty sure, but it's anywhere from $12 to $25, and honestly I think for this it's pretty worth it. Now if I have to give this a rating, honestly, because it's a no bullshit design, I would have to give it I don't know, like a very solid 7 or perhaps an 8 out of 10. Like I said, don't follow these ratings too seriously, especially in my videos. Usually I would take a lot of points if something breaks, and I'll give a lot of points as long as something does its job well. But I'm not overly critical of most things, but I am overly critical of the functionality, and sometimes things aren't really made to be functional. Sometimes they're wall hangers, but this is not. So now that I've got this out of the way, you can look at the handle. I'm gonna try not to cut myself because this is pretty sharp, and you can see it's just a standard wooden handle with copper wire, I believe, wrapping around. I'm not sure why that is. I'm guessing to have a better grip. There is no guard, which honestly they might have, maybe they should have put just a little bit of something so you don't slip. You can see the edge starts a little bit after this, so perhaps you can hold it like this, but I would not recommend it. This feels, something like this feels the best. You can see my hands are kind of small, but there is still some length left on the handle for people with bigger hands, and it's not an absolutely full tank construction, as you can see, but it does, if you can see here, I'll try, this can actually move a little bit out of the way. It does go into the handle. It's not some flimsy thing that if you swing once it will crack the handle because it's only half the way through. I believe it's almost towards the end, but as you can see, not quite. It doesn't poke out here or anywhere like on what is considered an absolute full tank. This isn't a full length even because the handle wraps above where the tang is, but I do believe it's somewhere to around here at least, or at least I hope so, because otherwise this would probably break due to the impact. Now, how I did resharpen this, but it was very easy to resharpen, and honestly there was no need to do so. I just wanted to see how the steel would react, and you can see the edge, only the edge itself is actually almost mirror polished, because, well, I wanted to practice my sharpening, and it was actually pretty easy on this machete since it's like, you know, just the most standard edge you've ever seen, and it reacts really well with the whetstones I have. In terms of thickness, you can see I think it's about 2 millimeters thick, so it's thick enough to actually do work. And yeah, now let's try the standard A4 printer paper test. I know this is what you were all waiting for. This is some old data from another video, don't mind it. As you can see, this is incredibly sharp. This just slices. This is probably my sharpest object, even though it's... Let's try a... Okay, maybe not, maybe I can't really do that, but you can see that this is actually having very little trouble with the paper. It only had trouble when I tried to do a circle, but keep in mind this is a machete, this is thick towards the end, so it's not that easy to do that with.